About this, the Cavs take their 2-0 lead to Miami with a 17-0 record when winning the first two games in a series. Cleveland went off from deep in Game 2, draining 22 threes, including a record 11 in the second quarter. Now, how about the Thunder? They could become the first team to clinch a series with a win in Memphis, which would seal the sweep. OKC pulled off one of the best comebacks in playoff history in Game 3, coming back from 26 down at the half. And then the Clippers, they're going to try to take full control of the series after blowing the doors off Denver in the first playoff game at the Intuit Dome. Worth noting that LA has a losing record when leading 2-1 in a series. And the nightcap, Bay Area, Rockets, Warriors square off in a pivotal Game 3. All eyes are going to be on Jimmy Butler, who left Game 2 and is listed as questionable for tonight. Here's Malika Andrews, Chiney Ogwumike, and Kendrick Perkins with more on tonight's games.
4 NBA playoff games today, and we're here to get you set for all of them. Let's start with the Cavaliers and Heat, OKC and Grizzlies, the number one seeds that are in action here. Do we think that any of the one seeds, talking about OKC and talking about the Cavaliers here, are they going to lose today?
Well, the Memphis Grizzlies are dead bird tall grass. OKC is going to end that.
This is crazy.
Yeah, but OKC is going to end that.
Okay.
No Ja Morant. Grizzlies had their chance.
They had their chance.
They folded,
built up a huge lead.
They folded like lawn chairs. Now, on the other hand, I never underestimate Eric Spoelstra and the Miami Heat.
Sure.
Right? Like, those games have been competitive, especially Game 2. I think, going down to Miami, Eric Spoelstra is going to have those guys ready to play. I think Miami gets Game 3.
So a gentleman's sweep. Even though I feel a little bit confident that, like, what we saw from Donovan Mitchell in the fourth quarter, when he is capable of stepping up, he can take over.
Yeah, that brings us to our third game of the day, the Clippers and the Denver Nuggets here. This is something that we thought could go the distance. The Nuggets...
Who thought that?
All of us. I thought this would be a long series. I really did. You didn't. It seemed to me that the Denver Nuggets being in the building and Intuit Dome for that Game 3, it seemed like the Nuggets just look like they've run out of gas a little.
No, they tapped out. The Clippers made the Nuggets tapped out. Think about what the Denver Nuggets been going through, right? Losing their head coach and who they won the championship with. Aaron Gordon Jr. dealing with a calf injury, right? Michael Porter Jr. dealing with a banged up shoulder. And all of a sudden you have Kawhi Leonard Jordan, the best player in the postseason right now. Seriously. Big Zubac doing his thing. James Harden took over. Look, this Clippers team is for real. And the Nuggets know that if they're not fully healthy 100%, they stand no chance.
You know what? You gave me a cause for pause when you said Kawhi Leonard Jordan being the best player in the postseason. I started thinking about the different teams and the different players. He probably is playing the most meaningful basketball for his team right now to get a win. And so, yeah, I still think that the Nuggets are going to be able to rebound. Y'all saw Jokic on the sideline. He rarely shows emotion. I think this means something to him. But still, I have the Clippers walking out of that series.
The sense being around the Denver Nuggets is we need a 40-point triple-double from Nikola Jokic, and that is a tall task, but don't put it past him. It's someone who averaged a triple-double. You can't put it past him. All right, then we get to the sort of main course of the day. 8:30 Eastern, we have the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors. Jimmy Butler's status is up in the air for this one. Shanae, what are you going to be watching?
So I was there for Game 1.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they lost. Hakeem Olajuwon was there for Game 2. They won, so he's the good luck charm.
For Houston,
But for Houston. But when I think about these two teams, it's all about two. They've had to have two star players in order to pull out wins. Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry, sensational Game 1. Alperen Şengün and Jalen Green emerging, really answering the bell after having a tough Game 1. 38 points, 8 threes. They're going to have to bring their shot onto the road.
This is going to be a series that's won in the trenches, a game that's won in the trenches. So I'm looking at Draymond Green. He guaranteed they were going to win the championship. I need him to be great against baby Jokic, Alperen Şengün, one-on-one, not asking for a double team in Game 3, have a serious impact, help Steph Curry and the Warriors try to get that win.
Well, you get you set for that one on
Saturday's Game 3, 8:30 Eastern on ABC.
Let's look ahead to some of Saturday's action with Kendrick Perkins, who's kind enough to stick around and hang out with us on Sportscenter. Perk, let's start with the Rockets and Warriors. Looks like Jimmy Butler is going to give it a go, but maybe not at 100%. So what does that mean?
It means a lot. I mean, when you think about what Jimmy Butler brings to the table, he brings life to Steph Curry, right? That bona fide second option stand that when Steph don't have it going the first, second, third quarter, Jimmy Butler is able to carry that load. And Jimmy Butler brings so much to the table. I call him a Swiss Army knife. He'll cut you everywhere but loose. You want steals, you want deflections, you want post-ups, you want cutting, you want shot making. He's going to give you all of that. So in order for the Warriors to even stand a chance, Jimmy Butler needs to be on the floor.
Mm-hmm. How much of a chance do you give them?
I had this series going 7 anyway.
Okay.
I had the Warriors in 7, but, with Jimmy not being 100%, I'm kind of leaning towards the Rockets because you still need that extra guy that's going to go out there and be able to give you 20-plus if you're Golden State, outside of Steph and Jimmy. Right, I thought that guy was Jonathan Kuminga, but obviously you looking, him and Steve Kerr ain't seeing eye to eye. His confidence level is not there. So I'm looking at the way that baby Jokic Şengün is playing right now, causing problems. Then Jalen Green heard the whispers, heard the noise all around, national media and even in Houston, then bounced back with 38 plus. And I'm just looking at it and I'm like, the Rockets' identity defensively, they're not going anywhere.
Right. And a lot of talk with Dylan Brooks and Draymond Green.
Love it.
Expect another physical game.
Oh, absolutely.
In Game 3. Meanwhile, the Nuggets have squandered 2 triple-doubles from Nikola Jokic in the last 2 games, and the Clippers have taken control of this series. What do you see in Game 4 here in L.A.?
What I saw in Game 3. The Clippers are going to make them fold like clean sheets. Listen, the Nuggets have tapped out, man. And that's the effect of Kawhi Leonard Jordan, right, who's been the best player in this short postseason. I think when you look at him, what he brings, the tenacity on both ends of the floor, and I'm looking at what Ty Lue is bringing out of the rest of the guys. You got Zubac, who's looking like a top 10 center right now.
Yep.
Right? James Harden, true point guard facilitator. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, no way Denver's going to win this series or even come back. I think, Jokic mentally is just fatigued.
Yep.
I didn't think, last but not least, Aaron Gordon, he's dealing with a calf injury. Michael Porter Jr., shoulder injury. So everything favors the Clippers, in my opinion.
All right, we'll see if the Nuggets can tie it up or if the Clippers take a commanding 3-1 series.
The Saturday slate today in the NBA, Heat taking on the Cavs, Thunder taking on the Grizzlies, Nuggets and Clippers, and then you got the Rockets and Warriors on ABC at 8:30 Eastern. We got the NBA covered with our analysts here. We got Quentin Richardson and Anscape's David Dennis Jr. And let's start with the Rockets and the Warriors. Our Shams Charania reporting that Jimmy Butler is, quote, in serious jeopardy of missing Game 3 with a pelvic contusion. So, David, if he can't go, what does the series now become about?
The series becomes about the Warriors having to do what they had to do before Jimmy Butler got there, which is find a second option to play with Stephen Curry. And for the Warriors, that guy has got to be Jonathan Kuminga. He played in the regular season 23 points and 33 points against that Rockets team in the regular season. But this is a different Jonathan Kuminga now in the playoffs. This is a guy who has racked up multiple DNPs up until the point Jimmy Butler was hurt and Steve Kerr said, we need something from you. And that guy did not look like himself in Game 2. 0 for 6 in drives to the paint. And he's in a tough position right now because you have to tell him, if Jimmy Butler can't go, you're going to be a second option. But if he can play, you're probably not playing at all. So he has to find a way to stay mentally in the game and be prepared to be that number 2 guy if Jimmy can't go.
Yeah, I agree with what David is saying, but I also look at it like, if I'm Houston and Jimmy's not playing, this is my opportunity. Mm-hmm. We're about to double team the snot out of Steph Curry. He is going to see 2 bodies, if not 3, every time he makes any move. If he comes off a pick and roll, we're doubling him, we're jumping him. We're trying to take the ball out of his hand and put the onus on any of them other guys but him, because Steph is the one guy that can knock you down and beat you by himself.
Yeah, stop Steph, stop the Warriors, and that may very well happen, especially if Jimmy Butler's not playing. All right, so Q, staying out west, Denver's coming off that 34-point loss to the Clippers, now down 2-1. That said, they just got a new coach like 2 weeks ago, so it's a tough situation. How capable are they of turning this thing around quickly?
I put the onus on the players, man. When I first saw them fire Michael Malone, I was out on Denver. I didn't feel like that you could win a championship making a coaching change at that point. Mm-hmm. And right now, I leave this onus on all of the players. I don't know that the coach has the I guess the backup in him. He hasn't been that voice long enough to really rally the guys. But I think Joker, Aaron Gordon, those veteran guys, Jamal Murray, they can take it upon themselves and try and take the bull by the horns and win the game on their own.
Yeah, Q says about the players. It's about the player to me. This is about Nikola Jokic, who has yet to leave a mark on this series so far. He's been playing a ton of minutes. He's been tired. He's been frustrated. And he hasn't eclipsed 30 points yet in this series. I'm thinking back to last year in that 7-game series against the Wolves when Jokic needed a must-win game with that Nuggets team, and he put up 40, 13, and 7 and played pretty much a perfect playoff game. We need that Jokic against the Clippers because he has not shown up yet. And if they have any chance of tying this thing up, it's got to be him telling Zubac, I'm tired of hearing about how good you are defensively. I'm tired of hearing about how you're giving me trouble. I'm still the best player in the world, and I need to make my mark on this series.
Zoo ain't having it. Zoo ain't having it, yeah. Dave. Zoo ain't having it. It's a reason that you said that he hadn't been able to do what he usually does. And that's 10 years running now. Big Zoo been the best guy defending him for the last 10 years, and he ain't having it.
Yeah. It's time now for QR code. Miami down 2-0 to Cleveland. So, Q, what's the code that the Heat must live by to get back into this series?
They got to slow Donovan Mitchell down, first and foremost. You got to slow him down. You got to slow down the three-point barrage. And you can't have Ty Jerome coming off the bench playing like a starter. He comes into the game, and he has full confidence. He has the green light. Coach Kenny Atkinson was his player development coach in Golden State, and when he got the job in Cleveland, he brought him with him. So he has complete confidence in him. But they got to stop those two out on the perimeter. Those are the two driving forces. Obviously, you got Mobley, you got Garland, but I feel like Donovan Mitchell, Ty Jerome, and that three-point barrage needs to be slowed down and contained.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, 11 threes in the second quarter in Game 2 was really a huge difference in that game. Cleveland is on a heater right now. But for me, this is all about the Cavaliers. You want to, assert yourself as a top in the East. You just saw Boston lose 3 after going up 0-2. You just saw the Pacers lose Game 3 after going up 0-2. Assert your dominance in the Eastern Conference. Win Game 3 and get rid of this Miami Heat team so you can have some rest going in the second round and show everybody why you believe that you're the best team in the Eastern Conference.
Well, speaking of asserting dominance, how about the Thunder? I mean, they've just absolutely dominated Memphis, especially after Ja got hurt. I mean, this team looks like they can do no wrong. So, David, what other teams are even close to OKC right now?
Yeah, so in terms of teams I think that are close to OKC, I think Boston is still there when healthy. They still were probably look like the best team in the league when they had all 5 of their starters. They played them tough, even though OKC was able to win. Cleveland also played OKC tough and won that first game. I think those two teams are still probably in the league with OKC, but let's not overlook what they have done. OKC has stepped up in the playoffs. They played 6 halves against Memphis. They've outscored them by 30 in 2 of those halves and outscored them by 18 in 2 more of those halves. This is a historically dominant series that we're seeing from OKC right now.
Yeah, I agree with Dave with those 2 teams, but I would add the LA Clippers. I feel like they are out there in the West, and they're going to have to go through them. And as long as Kawhi is healthy and playing like he's playing, and you got James Harden being the point guard that he is and the team playing, and we just talked about Big Zoo, Dave. You know what he brings to the table. So I definitely feel like the Clippers are in that realm with them, and OKC will probably have to see them before they can get to the NBA Finals. And I think it's going to be a series, man. I don't look at LA Clippers lightly. I think this could be their year that they do something special. Yeah, the LA Clippers right now, they're clicking on all cylinders, and they are a scary team to see in the postseason. 4 games today, ending with the Rockets and the Warriors, 8:30 Eastern on ABC. Thank you guys so much.
Minneapolis. Lakers star Luka Doncic said he was battling some sort of stomach issue entering Game 3, so LeBron James came ready to carry the load.